What is going on, everybody? What is going on, the Catch fam? I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed your Sunday. And I hope you guys are ready for another live 2023 fantasy football mock draft. We are hopping into a 12-team full PPR mock tonight. Rolling with a pretty basic roster sitting here. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex. It's almost August time, so we were throwing kickers and defense back into the conversation. We have like, I don't know, 100, 150 mock drafts from the offseason with no kicker or defense. So you guys can go check those out. There's on the channel, there's plenty of them. But we're going to start hopping into some mocks with kickers and defenses included because the majority of leagues out there still have those 2 spots. Outside of that, 5 bench spots. That's what we're getting into tonight. So excited as ever to be here with you guys. Thank you guys for coming out tonight and drafting with me. And you know what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football tonight. So if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button on the way in so you can hear me talk about fantasy more. And whether you guys are new or not, hit that like on the way in because that is good for YouTube content. And most importantly, hop in the live chat. Let me know what's popping. Let me know how you guys are doing. Any fantasy football topics you guys want to go over, redraft, dynasty, or best ball, whatever it may be. Any NFL topics you guys want to get into tonight, throw it in the live chat. Like I said, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football tonight. So I'm going to send out the final warning on Discord, and then we're going to start. Mock is starting. Everyone, hope you guys are ready. Okay, we're missing a couple green dots, but we should be okay. I'm sure everyone will pop in here. So let's just kick it off. Woo, sleeper noises. And we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'll keep an eye on the board here. And if I need to make a pick or two, we will. But it looks like, I don't know, Katz is here. We should be good. All right, at the 1.3 tonight. Ooh. I'm going to switch it up tonight because you guys know, I mean, I don't mind Eckler or C-Mac here, and you guys know that I will go Bijan here all day long. But I want to start this draft with a wide receiver, so I'm going to go Cooper Kupp here. I'm perfectly fine with as the 3rd player off the board and the 3rd wide receiver off the board. Tyreek Hill's fine in that range as well. But I'm going to start with Kupp. We've talked a lot about Cooper Kupp. I know your guys' opinions. I know there's a lot of favorable opinions right now in terms of Cooper Kupp being a top 5 pick this year. So, yeah, Cooper Kupp's my first player off the board. Okay. Couple news updates. Javonte Williams will not start training camp on the PUP list. So if you are a Javonte Williams fan, this is a good thing. This was not exactly expected. So it's actually kind of remarkable when you look at his timeline in terms of his injury and everything. So don't get me wrong, this isn't like the end-all, be-all. But it's good. I mean, this actually puts Javonte Williams, who has said that, you know, he may potentially play week 1, on pace to actually play week 1. So if you own him in Dynasty, you're probably pretty happy today. If you've been a fan of Javonte Williams throughout the offseason, I know a lot of you guys have, this is probably good. This is probably going to impact his ADP slightly, and overall will probably impact his ADP as the offseason continues to progress and we potentially see him out there in training camp. So Javonte Williams, thumbs up for the day. Outside of that, Kadarius Toney, quote-unquote, from Andy Reid, tweaked his knee during practice today. So a very Kadarius Toney story here. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Toney, but he tweaked his knee. So, yeah, I mean, this is pretty typical. We did get like reports that Justin Ross was taking first-team snaps, but I do want you guys to maybe not freak out about that because Sky Moore got first-team snaps, MVS got first-team snaps, and Richie James did as well. So, like, basically all the wide receivers on this team except Kadarius Toney, who has a bum knee, got some first team snaps today. So, I mean, if you do own Justin Ross in Dynasty, like, yeah, this is probably a good thing. But all the Chiefs wide receivers are basically out there except for Kadarius Toney. So just don't overreact to that report is, my opinion. Jimmy Garoppolo obviously spent his offseason recovering from foot injury. Whatever, did pass his physical, is expected to start training camp with the rest of the team. So for anyone worried about the Jimmy Garoppolo physical foot injury debacle, he's good to go at the moment. We'll see what happens. But he's going to start training camp, according to reports, with his team. So there you go. A couple updates on the day. Training camp's underway. We're getting, footage from training camp. It's starting to feel real, ladies and gentlemen. Season's going to be here before we know it. Okie doke. I don't know why I just said that, but I got to make a draft pick in a second here. So let's go. Two players I really like right here. I'm going to go Devonta Smith, but that's a tough pick right there. Yeah, Pollard was my other guy. I was like, do I want to go running back in the second? I think the tier of running backs here is a little bit closer with Jacobs, Breece Hall, Stevenson, Najee, Etienne, and Gibbs with Pollard in comparison to Devonta Smith. In my opinion, there's more of a drop-off. I mean, with Metcalf, Debo, Keenan Allen, Ridley, and Cooper. Not that I dislike any of those players, but I like Devonta Smith a lot more than the rest of those wide receivers. So I'll take Devonta Smith at the 210. Could go quarterback here. Could take the first quarterback off the board. But I think I'm just going to go running back. And I'm going to get spicy. Give me Jahmyr Gibbs tonight. Let's go with the rookie. Okay, let's see who's in the live chat. Thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate you guys. Walito said the mock filled so quick. Yes. It's feeling like fantasy season, ladies and gentlemen. We always hit that point in the year where, like, as soon as I post the mocks, they are filled. Happened tonight. Let's go. J-Dubs, what's up, man? Thomas, hello. Brendan, how's everyone doing? Dom, what's going on? Good to see you guys. Walito, we're going to talk some Javonte Williams. That's true. Taylor, sell high on Javonte Williams. If you are in a dynasty format and you do own Javonte Williams, I'm not particularly against that. Here's right. You got to risk, or you got to weigh risk reward, right? The risk is that Javonte Williams, is productive for the next 2 to 3-ish years, right? But when we look at the landscape of running backs right now in the NFL, it's just not extremely attractive, right? So the reward is you sell him. And I don't know, maybe he gets hurt again. Maybe he wasn't actually, maybe even though he's not on the PUP list, he's not fully healthy, and you get a bargain for him. So, I think there's risk and reward either way. But when it comes to the running back position, unless it's just a guy who I'm absolutely in love with, in dynasty formats, I don't have a problem moving on from them. Like I said, just when we look at the pure landscape of running backs right now. Shane, what's going on, man? Missed the mock. But go Von Miller. Yeah, I hadn't worn this jersey in a really long time, so I threw it on for the night. What's up, Shane? Walito bought low everywhere I could 2 months ago. I mean, yeah, and on the flip side, if you did go out and, chase Javonte Williams while he was hurt and you got him at a good discount, then I still think that's good, Godfather, what's up, man? Brennan says Cup stock going up. Let's see. Thomas, Breece Hall, second round. Yeah, I don't particularly mind that. I mean, and Cats obviously getting JJ at the 1.1 and then wanting to go double running back there, second and the third. I mean, if we took Ramondre at 2.12, then that makes Breece Hall a third rounder. It's not too different. So, it's all about roster construction. And if you are wanting to go out and grab those two running backs, having JJ as a hero wide receiver, I'm not particularly against it. Senior Cinnabon, what's going on, man? How we doing? Always good to see you. Dom, should I keep Devonta Smith or Tony Pollard? It depends on when and where you drafted them. Who's going to be the better value for you? Thinking of last year, you probably... I don't know. They might be pretty close, but I want to say you actually may have drafted Tony Pollard later than Devonta Smith. I mean, I like both of them this year, so. But yeah, it definitely matters on where you drafted them, in my opinion, when we're looking at potential keepers for the year. But I love both those guys. And it depends on how many keepers you have. Sounds like you just have one. But I probably might keep Devonta Smith. Also depends on the format, of course. Scoring format as well. But generally speaking, I want to hold on to stud wide receivers. But let us know, Dom. All right, so into the 4th round we go tonight. Got 3 quarterbacks off the board, 3 tight ends. I would say it's pretty even, not necessarily a wide receiver or running back heavy draft so far. Dom, I drafted Smith in the 8th and Pollard in the 9th. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking they might have been back-to-back picks. I thought they'd probably be pretty close. Well, let me know. I mean, it's a full PPR. I don't think you can really go wrong there. They're both great values. In my opinion, I'd probably keep Devonta Smith because what that does is like you're getting an absolute stud wide receiver in the 8th round. And then, he's going to the end of the 2nd and went at 2.10 tonight to myself. You can easily, the fact that you're getting a 2nd rounder in the 8th round. I mean, in Pollard, a 2nd rounder in the 9th round is not bad either, but it kind of depends. Do you want to start your draft with having a running back or wide receiver in your back pocket? Like, I'm in a keeper league this year, right? At the end of my draft last year, I just drafted like 3 or 4 at least 3 rookies. I didn't even draft a kicker or defense in that league. I just drafted additional rookies, dropped 2 players, and picked up a kicker or defense before the year started. I drafted Christian Watson in like the 11th round or something. I drafted Watson and Romeo Doubs back-to-back. So, in that scenario, I'm just going to keep a wide receiver in my back pocket, and then when I'm going through my draft, I'm just going to essentially draft one less wide receiver towards the beginning of my draft because I have a 4th round wide receiver already at my disposal. So, depending on how you want to overall construct your roster, so to speak, you might want to think about that as well. All right, let's go Justin Fields tonight. Let's go hero running back with Gibbs. This will be interesting. Let me see. Walito bought Javonte for a 2024 2nd in one league and traded Henry for him in another league. And that's a bit. I mean, Henry, even in Dynasty, still has some. Did you trade Henry for Javonte straight up? Dom says it's half PPR. Then that might kind of change my answer. I mean, Tony Pollard probably has more value, generally speaking. In a half PPR format, the running back position is going to hold more value. So that's a tough one. It's a tough one. Plus, when we're looking at wide receivers in half PPR leagues, you definitely want them to be guys who score touchdowns. 7 touchdowns last year for Devonta Smith, 5 in his rookie season. Pollard, just for context, even though he's a running back, of course, had 12 total touchdowns last year. So 5 more touchdowns. I might go Pollard in the 9th. And that kind of, you're still getting a 2nd rounder in the 9th round, essentially. So I'm just because of the scoring format, I might flop there. And I might go Pollard. Shane, I did note that for the Dynasty League. You're good, man. Let's see. So Taylor brings up, same thing with Dobbins last year, right? So essentially, in regards to Javonte Williams, he will avoid pup list to start the season. History shows us that he won't be 100% until at least 2024 with that injury. So I do think that's something that we should discuss, right? Taylor says same thing with Dobbins last year, and you can even put arguably Breece Hall in the same category, players coming back from these injuries, they might be able to play. They might come off the PUP list. They might not be on the PUP list, right? But are they going to be 100%? Because when we look at J.K. Dobbins last year, he was not 100%. Okay? So, and even, you know, kind of re-aggravated and was hurt middle of the season. So, you want to be careful with Javonte Williams. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, like, this is probably good news if you own Javonte in Dynasty, if you've been a fan of him in the offseason. But I guess I didn't really give, like, my personal opinion. I'm still not really there on Javonte Williams. It's just kind of like, I don't think anyone expected out of all the players who have already put on, like, have been put on the PUP list, like, I don't think we were really expecting Javonte Williams to not make the PUP list. So, I definitely am happy when players are going to be able to play and everything, but I personally, where he's going in drafts, I'm still not quite there. I think there are better players in that range that I would rather draft personally. Mr. Curly Wolf, how are you doing? Thomas got the Ridley and T-Law stack. Let's go. Oh, no. 1.6 reverse skipped the Ridley and T-Law stack. I see what you're saying. Slade, would you say in half PPR this year are wide receivers becoming more valuable than running backs because of last year? I wouldn't particularly say so. I still think there's tons of value to wide receivers in half PPR formats, don't get me wrong, but you still want to identify those players who score touchdowns when we're looking at wide receivers. But I still generally gravitate towards the running back position when it comes to half PPR formats. So even, you know, I played in a half PPR league last year, and I still felt like running backs held enough value over wide receivers that I think I still gravitate towards running backs in half PPR. But there are obviously just going to be some players who are like essentially format proof, you know, who overall, let me make this pick here real quick. Man, this is a weird spot to draft from. I really wanted Monty here. So J-Dubs, you ruined my draft. I mean, I kind of have to go running back here. I mean, I don't have to, but I'll just go Dalvin Cook. Why not? All right, where was I? Yes. I don't know. I still think, let me know your guys' thoughts, but I still think running backs hold a little bit more value in half PPR. Bossman says, I keep Smith at value, and I'm a Cowboys fan. Yeah, like, I don't think you can really go wrong there. I think in half PPR I go Pollard, but, you know, obviously I already made like the argument for Devonta Smith. I love both those guys, and it's 8th rounder or 9th rounder. Like, it just kind of depends. Do you want to start your draft with a running back in your back pocket or a wide receiver in your back pocket? And I think either way is completely fine. Albert, what's going on, man? J-Dubs per usual, yeah. I had a sneaky suspicion, but when you only had 2 wide receivers, I was like, maybe I'm in the clear here. So, like, Dalvin Cook, Javonte, Alvin Kamara. I felt like I couldn't draft Javonte, like, after just talking about him, but I didn't want to drop it to the next tier of running backs. And looking at wide receivers, there are names there I like. I don't know. I'll take Dalvin Cook. I'm still not opposed to Dalvin Cook as an RB3. We'll see where he lands, though. All right, 7th round, wrapping up. Let's see what we get into. Walito, I love that Saquon and Jacobs are falling in drafts. I'll take advantage of that. They'll play. So, we did get a direct quote from Nick Chubb. Remember we talked about top running backs in the league. We're going to have a Zoom call discussing the state of running backs, their contracts in the league right now. So here's what Nick Chubb, I don't know, for some reason this is the only quote I saw surfacing. Right now, there's really nothing we can do. We're the only position that our production hurts us the most. If we go out there and run for 2,000 yards with so many carries, then next year they're going to say you're probably worn down. It's tough. So I don't really know what we do with that information, but I did think that was interesting. And I don't know. I did kind of bring up, like, you could see a situation here where some of these other top-tier running backs potentially, you know, like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, go on strike with, you know, Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, and, like, they start to skip training camp. But I just think it probably doesn't make a lot of sense for them to do so. And I do think that Saquon will be out there. So Jacobs, I'm still a little shaky on. I feel like if anyone's going to truly sit out, it's probably Jacobs. But when we look at, you know, the state of things right now, I do agree that they are good value, especially in best ball tournaments. Like I talked about this throughout the week. Same thing with Eckler, or, you know, early in the offseason when I was telling you guys, like, take advantage of Eckler's, you know, current ADP, because he's going to be with the Chargers this year. And if he's not, I don't care, you know. And obviously, you know, contract got taken care of. And he's with the Chargers, and then his ADP shot back up. So I think especially for Saquon Barkley, got to take advantage of that ADP. I think a lot of people right now, when they're mock drafting, are just kind of counting Josh Jacobs off their board. Like, I mean, 3.12 is pretty steep. That's probably the latest we've seen Jacobs. I mean, usually he's gone by like the 3.5, 3.4. So I mean, Jacobs at the 3.12 is definitely worth taking. But yeah, especially in best ball formats, you got to go out and take a chance on those guys. You know, even if they're only out there half the season, the value that they bring to the table is 110% worth it. All right, I guess I'll go Brian Robinson here. Pretty good value on B-Rob there. I'll take that. I like Gibson more, but Gibson's long gone at the 8.5. All right, 8th round wrapping up, and we'll move into the 9th round. I don't know who I want to draft next. I really don't. Don't forget, guys, 1 flex, 1 kicker, 1 defense. Make sure you guys are paying attention. I feel like, you know, like generally speaking, when we roll with our double flex format, I'm much more queasy about, like, I would be, you know, only having 3 wide receivers through the first 8 rounds, I'd be a lot more queasy about. But sitting here with a 1 flex format, I'm not as concerned. All right, just give me Freiermuth. I think he's the best available player. Let's see here. All right. So I basically just want to finish out this draft with wide receivers. As much upside as I can get on my bench at the wide receiver position. I was kind of tempted to hold off at tight end and target Cole Kmet since I have Fields. You know, why not go for the stack? But I'm fine with kind of diversifying here. And there's just no one available here who really, like, stood out to me. I mean, I like Devontae Shane. I like Jerick McKinnon. But especially having Pacheco, and then, like, I'm fine with 4 running backs. In a 1 flex redraft league, I'm perfectly fine with that. So that's my story. All right, 9th round wrapping up here. I can't facilitate a trade during a mock, Tommy. Wait, Dotson and Pirine for Pickens and Charbs. That'd actually probably be a pretty fair trade. Signasty, what's up, man? What would you tell people in one quarterback dynasty PPR leagues drafting 7 quarterbacks in the first round? Well, you know, it kind of, you have to follow the trends of. Hold on, I'm changing Tom's pick. So you have a tight end, yeah. He needs a running back. We'll give him A-Chain, but you have to follow the trends of your league, right? So if your league drafts heavy quarterback in the first round, even in a single quarterback format, I'm not against that. Like there's not particularly a wrong answer. I think in most single quarterback dynasty leagues, you're not going to see 7 quarterbacks gone in the first round. But quarterbacks are still extremely important in all dynasty formats, including single quarterback dynasty formats. So overall, hold on, I'm changing Tom's pick again. And there we go. No need for him to have a second quarterback this early, but behind Josh Allen. Yeah, in dynasty formats, like even if you play with one quarterback, it is still the most important position overall. So, a combination of two things. I still think you should value quarterbacks in single quarterback leagues. Like in our single quarterback leagues, quarterbacks went between the end of the second, started to go between the end of the second, early third. You know, that's a little bit more typical, I would say. But if your league, you know, the other side of this, drafts quarterbacks early, then you have to follow the trends. If they're going to start firing off the board, you got to go out and get that value quarterback. So if it happened in your league, I don't have a problem with it particularly. All right, where do I want to go with my next pick? So basically going to draft 3 wide receivers, a kicker, and a defense. I don't know, part of me wants to draft Anthony Richardson as well. I'm taking Sky Moore off the board. Give him to me. Before one of you guys takes him again. There goes Komet. And we'll have one more pick here in the 10th round. Taylor says my wide receiver room is ancient. Adams, Allen, McLaurin, Evans, Thomas. I like it. Make sure you draft Odell as well. There goes Richardson. Richardson is a QB1. Ooh, spicy. All right, top available quarterbacks: Tua, Cousins, Rodgers, Geno, Danny Dimes. Top available running backs: Algier, Kendre Miller, Zeke, Tank Bigsby, Raheem Mostart. Top available wide receivers: Sutton, Beckham, Lazard, who I'm going to take, Jacoby Myers, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Boyd. Top available tight ends: Schultz, Kincaid, Dulcich, Higbee, Laporta. Cinnabon. I have no idea how they'll draft this season since my personal league is so unpredictable. Have no idea how they'll draft this season since everyone is switching wide receiver heavy and catch fan mocks. Well, they aren't as informed, so I don't know if they'll stay running back heavy. We'll just have to run a mock for you where everyone drafts running back heavy. I saw today Anthony Richardson might not be starting until week 10. Ooh, spicy. I mean, that could be true. But at the same time, like, Gardner Minshew could throw like 6 interceptions in a game or like break his leg. I don't know. And then, like, you know, at the end of the day, they spent heavy draft capital on him. I think they'll get him out there soon as they can. But at the same time, you know, I think Jim Irsay already came out and said, oh my gosh, I'm changing this pick again. I'm going to give him a wide receiver. you know, Jim Irsay came out and said that it's up to their head coach to make the call when they want Richardson out there. So, you know, you look at like Jalen Hurts' rookie season, like he was not a starter, he was drafted in the first round, was not drafted as early as Anthony Richardson, but I don't know, there could be more developmental time than some people are anticipating. Could definitely be a thing. But I do feel like they want to get him out there as soon as possible. You know, even if it's like, you know, when you look at Justin Fields in his rookie year, played in 12 games, could be closer to that number. Struggled his rookie year. But, I mean, struggled last year to a degree as well. But obviously the rushing upside changed things up. But yeah, Taylor, let us know where you saw that. It's interesting. I have not heard that yet. All right, into the 12th round we go. Cinnabon, I have a plan and sort of worked in the last auction mock, so I think it'll work out. But last season, Brees went for $9. Olave and Kenneth Walker both went for $1. So I have no idea the price of Gibbs or Bijan. Interesting. All right, I'm leaving Tua there. I mean, I guess Tua as your last pick behind Josh Allen makes some sense. So, David, I think with the way my 10-team league drafts, I'm going to try and get Bijan at 4, then Wilson. I don't know if you'll get Wilson at the 2-9. Pollard, Hall, Stevenson in the second. Wait, hold on. Now I'm confused because Bijan would be your first rounder. Are you saying Wilson's your second rounder? Then Pollard, Hall, Stevenson in the third? Is that what you're saying? I don't think you'll get Wilson. You won't get Wilson at the 2-9. No way. You could definitely go Bijan, Pollard, Hall, or Stevenson between the second and third. All right, give me Shaheed. Wilson at the 2-7. Oh, is it a... Oh, it's a 10-team. I'm sorry. 10-team. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was 12-team. That skipped my mind. Still might be slightly early for Wilson. By the time August comes, guys, it's just going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think Wilson is potentially going to move pretty drastically in ADP. He might be going, like, I mean, went at the 111 tonight. That might be pretty typical overall. Give me the Cowboys. Go Cowboys. All right. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's wrap things up with some kickers and defenses. Maybe, I don't know, skill position player or two here and there. Kind of tempted to go Daniel Carlson there, but I'll take the better defense. I think if you're going to choose between streaming a kicker or a defense, I would rather stream kicker. Or at least draft a defense who could be a stable piece. And if you're going to stream defenses, that's okay too. Slade says, great value with Kirk. Yeah, 512 is beautiful for Kirk. In a draft with me, at least. I mean, generally speaking, if I'm not going quarterback that early, then I'm going Kirk at the 5-3. I just had a feeling that Herbert or T-Law would not make it back to me, and they would have not made it back to me. So, oh, sorry, you guys. Let me make myself tiny. Taylor, I saw the AR post on Twitter. Said he and Minshew are splitting reps through the preseason. AR might not get the nod until later in the year because the Colts want to win. Not sure Minshew gives him a better chance to win, but that's what it said. Yeah. I don't know. I take everything and anything on Twitter with a grain of salt. But I do think there's probably some truth to, we could see Richardson out there a little bit later than some people are anticipating right now. So I think it's a fair point to bring up. Jada's pretty high on Philly's front four with the Georgia guys picked up. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you be? Like, even if they didn't draft anyone, they're still going to be great, right? So, their draft was just ridiculous. Have you seen how bad ESPN ranks are for mock drafts? I mean, they generally are always awful. They generally are not up to date whatsoever. Like, when it comes to keeping up with the particular trends and everything, they're never on point. So, like, literally, if you draft in the ESPN league, like, you have to prepare differently than, like, everyone else. So, yeah, they're always bad. But I have not sat down and done an ESPN. I mean, generally speaking, throughout the offseason, I do mock drafts on ESPN and on Yahoo and, like, try to make that content. I don't quite know if I'm going to do it this year, though. Give me Nick Folk. All right. Team review time. Let me know. Taylor at the 1-9. Gino late. I wondered if that auto messed you up if you wanted to. But Gino's fine in the 12th. Kelsey, like, you're perfectly fine at tight end. ETN, Swift, Cook, Jamal Williams, Algier. Good value on the running back position throughout the draft. And that you didn't draft Odell, man. Where did he go? Oh, you couldn't have. Odell would have been the perfect wide receiver for this wide receiver room. Adams, Allen, McLaurin, Evans, Thomas. Yeah, like, I want some youth sprinkled in here. I would go Dotson over Evans personally. And, like, I don't even particularly dislike Evans. I just think with the beginning of this wide receiver room, that's the move I would make. Thomas, I mean, might as well go J-Mo. Like, Thomas going to miss as many games as J-Mo this year. Like, seriously, I might actually go J-Mo there. Sky Moore, Rondo Moore, might be a little bit ahead of ADP. I don't know. I like to see some youth sprinkled in there, but it's not like you drafted a bad wide receiver. Evans still good value in the 7th, so. Ravens defense are good there. Jake Elliott, Jake Elliott, like, was not a good fantasy kicker because the Eagles scored so many touchdowns last year. Kicker 21. But he's still dependable for sure. And we'll probably see some sort of regression from the Eagles offense this year. So, all right, you're starting Geno and Kelsey, Etienne and Swift, Adams and Allen, then just one flex. So McLaurin, Evans, Cook, Jamal, Michael Thomas, Algier, any of these guys could fit in there. It's a pretty good overall roster for a one flex league. Ravens defense, sure you're happy about that. And, I mean, they'll probably be a top 10 unit again this year. So, Jake Elliott's fine in the kicker position. So, looks good to me, man. Boss man at the 112. We got Prescott at quarterback. Pitts and Schultz at tight end. A good tight end room. I don't mind a second tight end behind Pitts. Chubb, Jacobs. Jacobs was a steal for you at 312. Charbs, McKinnon. I'm fine with this running back room. A.J. Brown, Cooper, Kirk, Pickens, Myers. I like this team. Younghoe Koo. Kicker 5 last year. Patriots defense 1 last year. It's a good squad for a one flex league. We're starting Prescott and Pitts, Chubb and Jacobs, hopefully. If not, Chubbs and McKinnon. A.J. Brown, Cooper, flexing Kirk. Ooh, I like this team tonight. You got Pickens, Jacobs, Charbs on the bench. Myers on the bench, Schultz on the bench. This is a good squad, man. Q and the Pats defense starting. Yeah, I like this team a lot. Especially if you get Some sort of play time out of Jacobs there, right? Box and the Jack. What's up, dude? Hurts at quarterback. Njoku at tight end. I'm good at that. Bijan, Barkley, Harris, Ford. I can live with that. I mean, the big, you need Barkley out there, but Harris can fill in the meantime. To me, Ford is still a handcuff. But Bijan and Barkley could be pretty lethal. The only team to go double running back in the first 2 rounds. All right, wide receivers. Judy, Hopkins, Hollywood. Hollywood a great value in the 6th. JSN, Flowers. I'm fine going with those 2 rookies back-to-back. Mooney a good value in the 11th. I mean, for kind of going, so aggressive at running back early, getting a quarterback early, wide receivers look pretty solid. Justin Tucker, say no more. Lions defense, I hope they take another step forward, but quite frankly, they didn't take much of a step forward last year defensively. They had flashes. They had this good little streak here. Another one here. They played well against Chicago last year. But they were the last defense to go off the board, so I'm okay with it. Bring some upside to the table, right? All right, so we're starting Hurts and Njoku. Bijan Barkley, hopefully, if not, Bijan Harris. Bijan and Harris, I guess I should say. Judy, Hopkins, and Hollywood. You've got JSN, Flowers, and Mooney on the bench. I like that a lot with Ford. Handcuffs and redraft down the stretch, always important. So, team looks pretty solid, man. A lot of upside just from those first 3 picks. Yeah, I like this team. All right, W, what's up, dude? We got Lamar at QB, Komet and Dulcich at tight end. You're good there. Pollard, Mixon, Akers, Monty, very solid running back room. Monty, a great pick at 7-2. Yeah, I like this running back room a lot. This is like a perfect redraft running back room. Chase, Metcalf, QJ, Bateman, Mingo. I probably go with the proven guy over Mingo here just because they already have Quentin Johnston. Mingo can, of course, step up and be the wide receiver 1 for the Panthers, but even if it's like Sutton or Mooney, I like both of them for this particular build a little bit more. Because he did go double tight end and he went with 4 running backs through the first 7 and a quarterback. But it's a single flex league, so it's not going to hurt you as much. Eagles defense, McManus, you're good on both those ends. So you're starting Lamar and Komet. Obviously, Dulcich could be in there as well. Pollard and Mixon, Pollard and Akers, Pollard and Monty. Like, you're good at running back. Chase and Metcalf. Then in the flex, this might be a team where you flex Akers or Monty, whatever running back, but Quentin Johnston as the season goes on or Bateman could certainly be in there as well. So, good squad. Yeah. I like it. Slade. What's up, dude? At the 1-4. We've got Joey Burrow. Say no more. Andrews and Laporta. I'm okay with that. I'd rather have Dulcich over Laporta personally. He was available. But, if you have Andrews, you're probably okay. C-Mac, Sanders, Javonte, Roshan Johnson, Mostart. Pretty good running back value throughout the draft, man. Higgins, Lockett, Cooks, Thielen, Thornton. I'd be a little queasy about wide receivers. I don't love Cooks. I don't hate him. I'm just not there on him. I'm not really a big fan of Adam Thielen. I get why people like him. And, he, played decently at times last year and played really well in 2021 for the most part before he got hurt. But I'm just not there on Thielen. I just don't think there's much upside there. Then Thornton's certainly interesting. But in redraft, he's probably not going to be a guy I go after. So wide receiver is not my favorite here. But it is single flex format here, so may not absolutely kill you. Starting Burrow and Andrews, C-Mac and Sanders, Higgins and Lockett. And you're probably going to want to flex Javonte, and if it's not Javonte, it's probably Brandon Cooks. So Roshan, Thielen, Mostart, Laporta, Thornton on the bench. You got the Chiefs defense, no kicker. Pick one up, stream one, whatever. Yeah, not my favorite wide receivers, but between trades and the waiver wire, you could sort it out for sure. Cats at the 1-1. AR and Kirk Cousins. I like that. I like that a lot. Why not? I mean, you get the stable quarterback play out of Cousins. You get the potential upside in Richardson. I do think Richardson's going to be better in his sophomore year. I know this, like, you could probably say this about any rookie quarterback. Like, they should all be better in their sophomore year compared to their rookie year. I do think Richardson will be better from a fantasy perspective in his sophomore year. But why not take a swing on him here and there this year if you're in multiple leagues? Goddard, I love. You're fine at tight end. Hall, Stevenson, Dobbins, Penny. Pretty good running back room. JJ, Ayuk, Pittman, Elijah Moore, and Rondo Moore. I can live with this wide receiver room. Niners defense and Dicker the kicker. Yeah. I like both the defense and kicker spots for you, too. So starting Cousins and Goddard, Hall and Stevenson, JJ and Ayuk. Full PPR, you're probably flexing Pittman, but you have Dobbins there as well. Penny, Elijah Moore, Rondo Moore, good. Bench options, Richardson. A nice upside selection, for you to have on your bench as well. Niners defense, very solid. And Dicker the kicker, very solid. So I like this team a lot. It's a good squad, Cats. Tommy's at the 111 tonight. What did we do tonight? We got T-Law, Say No More, and Conquo and Kincaid. I like that combo. I like getting to some sort of stable tight end play behind Kincaid. I probably like Njoku more than Nkonkwo, even Komet and Dulcich, but it's not that I don't like Nkonkwo. You guys have just heard me say this. Like, I don't trust Tennessee's passing game, but maybe I'm underestimating them. I mean, they have D-Hop now. They're going to be able to run the football effectively, but they just have shown throughout the last couple of years that they are not a pass-first team. But I still like Chig, so. Walker, Madison, Pirine, Mitchell. I mean, you kind of have like two committee handcuff guys in Pirine and Mitchell, but they're probably like the best committee handcuff guys you can draft, maybe outside of like Washington's backfield or, I don't know, Detroit's backfield for including committees. But, and I guess Seattle, with Charbs there as well. But all things considered, I mean, I like Gibson more than Pirine. Mitchell's fine here, though. Mitchell's fine. Yeah, now, like, the interesting thing with Pirine is if Javonte's out there week 1, like, when we look at Sean Payton's offense, traditionally, he does, like, a receiving back, and Pirine will probably play that role, so, especially with Javonte coming back from injury. So, we'll see what happens, but I feel like Pirine could potentially drop in ADP if we get more and more positive news about Javonte, so it'll be interesting to monitor. Wilson, St. Brown, Watson, Dotson. Love that wide receiver room for you. Zay Jones in the 12th. Why not? Doesn't hurt anything. Dobbs is there. Shaheed is there. I don't mind Zay Jones. Love those first 4 guys for you. A lot of upside with them. I still love Kenneth Walker. If you're getting him at the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th, keep doing it all day long. Madison's fine here. I might like Swift or Rashad White a little bit more, but Madison's fine as well. All right, so we're starting T-Law and Nkonkwo, Walker, Madison, Wilson, St. Brown, and flexing Watson. I mean, I really like that starting roster for you. Dotson on the bench, a great option. Pirine and Mitchell, good options on the bench as well. Zay Jones, a good bench option. Then you got Kincaid, he could filter in potentially to that tight end spot. So it's a very good team. I like this squad, actually. Yeah. Seahawks defense, forgot about that. I think they'll be top 10 again this year. And Bucker, Bucker kind of similar to Jake Elliott to where he's not always the best fantasy kicker. He's a very good kicker. But the Chiefs are going to score so many points. I mean, obviously, he missed some time last year. But you even look, 2020, 2021, top, kicker 12 and kicker 14 gets pushed back a little because they're going to score more touchdowns than be in position where they have to kick field goals. So, but he is a reliable kicker, don't get me wrong. All right. Team reviews might be over. Draft of the night. I think I'm still going with Bossman. I just really like this team. I mean, a lot of good teams. I like Tommy's team tonight. I like Boxing Jack's team tonight. I like Cat's team a lot as well. But Prescott, Pitts, Chubb, Jacobs with Charbs and McKinnon to hold him over. Brown, Cooper, Kirk in the flex. I mean, I think it just might be Kirk in the flex. Makes me happy. Pickens and Myers are two guys I like on the bench. I prefer Dotson there, but obviously he was gone. But Pickens fine there. I think I might just go boss man. But Tommy, Boxing the Jack. Boxing the Jack's close. I mean, he hit great mid-round wide receivers for going double running back and a quarterback, and Njoku was a great value in the 10. I really like this team, actually. It's close. A lot of good squads tonight, guys. Cats are a really good squad as well. I think Cats wins for the best kicker-defense combo. Niners and Dicker the kicker. A lot of good squads. J-Dubs. All right, this is a Best Ball Mania 4 team. Let's roast my squad real quick, then I'll take a look at your Best Ball team. Fields at quarterback, Freiermuth at tight end. I love both those guys, so I'm good there. Gibbs, Pacheco, Cook, Robinson. Running backs got kind of interesting. I prefer Monty at the 7-3, but I honestly think 7th round is a little late. I feel like Monty should be going this 6th round at least. So, and if I didn't go Pacheco here, or if I didn't go Monty here, one or the other probably wouldn't be here. So I'll take Dalvin Cook. I feel like Brian Robinson's pretty good value at the 8-10 though. All right, Kupp, Devonta Smith, London, Sky Moore, Lazard, Shaheed. I'll take those 6 guys. Why not? I mean, I was happy with my late round wide receivers, Sky Moore, Allen Lazard, and Shaheed. I like Darnell Mooney, Cortland Sutton in that range, Jacoby Myers, Romeo Dobbs, but I'm happy with those 3 guys. Cowboys defense, your defense number 2 last year. Nick Folk, your kicker 9 last year. Should have finished higher after being kicker 2 the year before, but he had some stinkers, including this -2 performance. So I'm starting Fields and Freiermuth. Gibbs and Pacheco, Kupp and Smith, flexing London. I mean, I personally like that starting lineup a lot. Cook and B-Rob on the bench with Sky Moore, Lazard, and Shaheed. Cowboys defense, Nick Folk starting. Frankly, in a single flex league at this point in the offseason, I'd be really happy with this team. If I got Monty over Cook, I'd be definitely happy, but I'm still very happy with this squad. So I think that's a good draft. I don't know. All right, so J-Dubs wants me to take a look at this Best Ball Mania 4 squad. So let's do it. Watson and Rodgers. Let's see what stacks. We got Wilson, Elijah Moore, DPJ. Okay. And Njoku. Nice. Yeah. Quarterbacks, I'm fine with both those guys. I like that. I mean, we got to keep hammering that Rodgers-Wilson stack in Best Ball. I feel like as training camp progresses, we're just going to get more and more hype around this Jets team. We got to keep hammering that. Oh, and you got Allen Lazard, too. Okay. I like it. Etienne, Dobbins, Walker, Jamal Williams, McBride. I'm fine with these running backs. I think you can definitely have, actually, looking at your starting wide receivers, it's a good running back room. Etienne, Dobbins, Walker, I like a lot. But yeah, you can have a lot of these builds where your running backs don't hold as much value. You're just looking for those guys who can, especially as the season goes on, give you value, right? So Even McBride and Jamal Williams are good in this build. But CeeDee Lamb, Wilson, Ridley with Etienne, Dobbins, Walker, I like a lot. Yeah, this is a good squad. I mean, I'm not crazy about Thornton, but why not take him? I mean, you got interesting too. Is this built for a specific week? So you got 2 New England guys in here. You just taking a flyer because they could be, primary targets in that offense. I'm fine with it either way. And Njoku, Kmet, Mayer, good tight ends. I don't particularly know if you need Michael Mayer in this build. I believe in Njoku and Kmet alone. So maybe go with another running back. You can always go with another receiver, but it also doesn't really particularly hurt anything. But I think Njoku and Kmet would be fine. So yeah, I think it's a good squad, man. Yeah, keep hammering those jet stacks while you can. I mean, I don't know how much more Wilson will move up in ADP, but Rodgers might move up a bit, I guess. Yeah, I like this team. It looks good to me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose that will do it for the night. Another good mock in the books. Good stream tonight. Thank you guys for being here tonight, man. Thank you guys for drafting with me as well. All right, I should be back on tomorrow night. I'll let you guys know. If not, we'll run an off-air mock. But, yeah, man. Good stream tonight. Good drafting by you guys. And that'll wrap it up. So be sure to hit that like on the way out. If you guys are new to the channel, you tuned in, thank you for being here. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because that will make me happy. And check out the links down below, guys. Follow us on Instagram, join our Discord, all that good stuff. And that'll wrap it up for the night. So everyone have a great start to the week. Hope you guys have a great Monday. And I appreciate you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. Love you guys, man. That'll wrap it up for the night. So with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on the Catch. And peace.